Good evening and welcome to another Ask Me Anything. It has been quite a while and it's always great to have these Ask Me Anythings. I really like having them because it gives me the opportunity to answer all of the questions that you have and talk about you in a less formal setup than we usually have. And as usual in these AMAs, I would like to start with a couple of words to update you on what is currently going on over here at the People's SCE and eCredits. And since our last Ask Me Anything, as I guess all of you know, we have had the first ever General Assembly that not only we had, but that any decentrally governed organization in the world has ever had. And this was and still is absolutely amazing news. And it did go pretty good indeed. I'm very happy with the outcome. We had all of the delegates in Luxembourg here, and we spent hours on hours telling them about the business year and what is to come. I told them about strategy and plans that we have and a lot of detailed information. And also, of course, there were a lot of questions from the delegates as well. Very well thought out questions, I have to say. I was very impressed with them that I think, or I hope at least, we could answer to the fullest extent and to the fullest satisfaction of the delegates. But of course, we are not done with the delegates yet. They will be involved in a lot of topics that are coming up over the next year, and I'm very much looking forward to them. And also, I think, if I recall correctly, we have received one question about that specific topic, but I will come back to that later. Beforehand, you may have noticed that we have not had as many releases in the past couple of weeks as we usually do have. And there is a reason for that. And before I will talk about that, I would like to show you a little picture. And I hope the sharing works as I intend to. So I hope you can see that right now. But essentially, what I'm showing you here is not a roadmap, but it is a selection, just a small selection of things that we have released over the past year. So we have been live with eCredits for 1.25 years now, so a bit more than 1 year. And in that selection, you just see some of the things that we have released because almost every 2 weeks, we have indeed done a release that improved the app or extended the app in one way or another. And for example, I'll not go through all of them. Don't worry, you can read all of them and probably you know most of the features. But we've listed on 3 exchanges, BlockTrade, Exmo, Bittrex. We've done the ambassador program. We've done integrations of many different services. We've integrated for the merchants instant trade. We've started the eVault. We have done a credit card integration and a couple more words about that in a second. But essentially, we've done that. We've done recently the seed phrase backup. And what you can see when you look at those is a lot of these features are features that you, our community, actively requested. And we sat down and we looked at them as we look at every suggestion that you are making and think about how can we implement them? Does it make sense to implement them? And if the answer to that last question is yes, then we do implement them. And these are just some of these examples. So like the eVault was a community suggestion, the seed phrase was a community suggestion, and many more of the things that we have done were a community suggestion. And so this is just a quick overview that I can give you about what we've made happen over the past year already. And the reason I'm doing this is because sometimes in the chat, I do have the feeling that people do not really see all the things that we are doing and that we are releasing. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview over that. And that also brings me to the best segue to essentially talk about what I actually want to talk about before we get into the AMA. And that is what is to come. Because we are almost ready to release the next credit card integration. So to talk a little bit about what happened there is some of you, many of you, I guess, have noticed that we have had a credit card integration already. And there is still this point of being able to purchase something with a credit card in the e-wallet application. The thing, however, is the company that we chose to work with ran into some troubles. And of course, when it comes to money, we never want to expose your capital and you to any kind of risk. So we took that integration offline as soon as we could again. And usually when we do something, we have learned from the past, we build fallbacks. So when we build one integration with one provider, we always build a second one. However, in this case, it was not ready yet because the second integration was just started to being integrated, but now it's finally done. It is only a couple more days, let's say maybe 2 weeks max, until we can release that and until we finally have a purchase via credit card in the eCredits application again. And that, of course, is absolutely amazing news because it is also a feature that you, the community, has requested for a long time. And when it went offline, that was discussed in the Telegram chat, for example, and in many other places as well. So I'm very happy to announce that the credit card integration is going live very, very soon again. My best estimation right now is in the next 2 weeks. But that's not all we are going to release in the next couple of weeks. One more thing that we are going to release is something that has also been asked for quite a bit, and that is social logins, meaning you will be able to log into eCredits not with your email address or not just with your email address in the future, but you will also be able to use your Google account and your Apple account to log into the eCredits application, which also will make the whole sign-up process much, much, much easier. And we're still not done because the next one is also a feature that was requested by the community. Specifically, it was requested, I think, by the Swedish community that said, hey, we are not using the euro, but in the eCredits application, when we're selling something as merchants, we can only select the price in eCredits or in euros. But in Sweden, we are using the Swedish crown. And so they asked us to implement the selection for the price for merchants in the Swedish crown as well, and that is coming very soon. In fact, on my test version on my own mobile phone, I already have that. And essentially, you can just select, I would like to denominate the price in the Swedish crown. I would like to denominate it in the Norwegian crown. And there are some other currencies coming, the Polish zloty, the Hungarian forint. I think we even have, don't take my word for it, but I'm pretty sure we even have the Macedonian dinar in there. And that is amazing news because I know we have a great community in North Macedonia as well. And I do appreciate each and every one of you. So it's great that we finally can make this happen. Just to give a bit more clarity, instant exchange will not be possible with any currency but the euro for now. This is something we are also working on. I'm just talking about entering the price for goods or when sending eCredits around in more currencies than euro and eCredits. And I'm still not done with news for today. There's a fourth feature I would like to talk about, and that feature is what we call deals. And deals for me personally is a great thing that is coming very soon, because what it is it's an opportunity for merchants to do marketing in the eCredits community. And the best way I can explain it is, imagine you are an ice cream store, and for example, it's a hot day. Right now, I'm in Luxembourg and it's always very hot for the past couple of weeks. And as an ice cream store, that's the perfect day to get more customers in. So what you can do in the future, once the deals feature is out, you can say, I would like to give 10% discount for any eCredits user that is coming to my store today. And with that, the eCredits users are seeing, hey, I'm getting a 10% discount if I'm going to the store. And with that, they have a financial incentive to go to the store. The merchant has a better customer success rate because they're coming in right away with that incentive. And additionally, what we want to do in the future is we are going to send out push notifications to people that are already near. And just imagine how convenient that is. You're walking along a shopping street and you get a push notification saying, hey, turn right now, and you get 10% off that ice cream store. And this is going to be an amazing marketing incentive for both eCredits consumers and merchants alike. And it will push the entire eCredits ecosystem with many more things that are going to come. So that's it with the features that are all within the scope of a couple of weeks. So you are not going to have to wait long for these before they finally go live. And I'm very happy about that. Additionally, allow me one last announcement before I'm actually getting into the AMA. There are a lot of very big things coming. I have talked about some of them in physical events, but there are big things coming in September, October. And there are some events where I'm talking about these big things. So what we call them is the Roadshow, the eCredits Roadshow, and I will go to a lot of different countries, pretty much every country where we are present and where we can fill bigger events, and I will talk about these events. So my announcement is watch out for some information, some messages on our social media channels where we are going to announce these roadshow appointments, these roadshow events that are going to happen. What I can already tell you is in the first week of September, I am going to be spending pretty much the entire week in Italy. Towards the beginning of October, I'm going to be in Portugal, and many other countries are coming in between. So from the top of my head, there will definitely be a stop in Estonia. There will definitely be at least one stop in Scandinavia. I am planning to do one stop in North Macedonia, and many more countries are coming. Germany, Austria, the swag region, as I tend to call it, will also be in there. I'm very much looking forward to meeting as many of you as I possibly can. So if you're interested in me coming to your country and talking to you about these great things coming in September, October, then let us know in the Telegram channel or on any of our other social media channels, so we know you are there, you are interested, and we can plan to be in your country as well. So that's been a lot of talking. Sorry about that, but as you saw, it's some very interesting announcements that I'm very happy to make. But with that, let us get into the Ask Me Anything section. And for those of you that are here for the first time, let me briefly explain to you how these AMAs work. They're kind of like our living room get together. It's where we spend some time together and we can talk about these things in a less formal way. I can answer many questions, as many as we can cram into that amount of time. And we have received some very interesting questions from all of you up front. So you had the opportunity to share questions on our social media channels, and we have received some very interesting ones up front. We have received some very curious one. For example, one question was when Moon. I won't answer that in this AMA. I will answer all the questions that actually are about the product and that are interesting to talk about in this context. But of course, if you have some more questions that I haven't answered or that you really would like to have answered, then you can post them in the chat right now. So there's a question and answer section, and you can post your questions there. In the background, we have our expert Nikita working on them. He will look through them and he will prioritize them so I can get to answer them at the end of our Ask Me Anything. And I can already see that questions are being posted already, so thank you for that. We have some of them that we have picked already that we are going to answer. Keep the questions coming. I will take some time today to answer as many of them as I possibly can. Good. With that, without further ado, let's get into the AMA. And I will start with the question that has been sent to us up front. And we have a question from somebody that has been a long follower. So I think you've been here from the beginning, and I would like to especially thank you for that. So I think I always botch your name. I completely mess it up. Sorry about that. I think that's kind of become tradition in these Ask Me Anythings. But the first question is coming from Borge. And he asks, hey Bernhard, thanks for the opportunity to allow asking questions. I would like to have your opinion on the announced gradual implementation of eCredits payment in the MyWorld infrastructure. My question is, how do you personally look at this development? Are you looking forward to this? And do you think that it can have a negative impact on the eCredits development? I'm seeing questions purporting eventually negative impact if MyWorld accepts eCredits payments. So I would like to hear your opinion. Thank you and keep up the great work. So thank you very much for the great question. It's a very juicy question. I know it has been discussed in the Telegram channel in the past couple of days and weeks a lot. And so this gives me a good opportunity to discuss this. So you have seen in the past that we have always clearly distanced ourselves from MyWorld. And there is a reason for that. We have done in the beginning a marketing campaign, the e-activity airdrop, together with MyWorld. And that led to some confusion because people thought that eCredits is a MyWorld company. And I want to make very clear that eCredits is a completely independent, separate company. We are not a MyWorld company. That said, we have in the past done the e-activity airdrop, which is a marketing campaign together with MyWorld. And right now I'm very happy that we finally gone live with the payment integration of eCredits at MyWorld. And the way I look at this is, for eCredits, it is very important to get brands that a lot of people use to accept eCredits payment, because that way we can grow exponentially and that way we can grow faster and faster. And so from that perspective, I'm very happy that we have done this integration and that everybody that is a MyWorld user can now also pay at MyWorld with eCredits, for now in Portugal and on what MyWorld calls the B2B side. So it is still a limited integration, and I'm very much looking forward to making it more and more and more accessible over the weeks and months to come. So this is going to be absolutely great. And so as you can see, I'm very happy that we have the integration. What I still would like to emphasize on is that separation. So it's not the same company. We are partnering with them like we do partner with any other bigger company that is right now and going to accept eCredits in the near future. So it's not like they have a special treatment or anything. Every other partner can also accept eCredits whenever they want, at any point in time. And we are working on getting more and more and more big partners online. So in the chat, people think, or people sometimes discuss, if it is going to have a negative impact if MyWorld accepts eCredits, and that is also part of these questions, or this question. And my opinion is no, it will not have a negative impact if MyWorld does accept eCredits for payment. Just like it will have a very positive impact if any of the other merchants is accepting eCredits, as it is happening right now as well. What is something that we are actively working on, and I know I've said it 2 times already, I'm still going to say it a 3rd time. What we need to work on is to create that understanding that still that integration doesn't mean we're in any kind the same company. We are separate companies. It's great to have a partner like MyWorld accepting eCredits payments, and this will have a positive impact on eCredits as well. So it's great that we have that happening, and it's also a great question, and I hope I was able to clarify that. If not, then feel free to ask follow-up questions in the chat right now. The next question that was sent up front is coming from Chris, and that is, what is the strategy for acquiring more eCredits acceptance points, and what are the key markets you're focusing on this year? That's also a great question, and that is a very multifaceted question. So there's a lot of answers to that. I will try to pick some fields that I can answer in that regard. And essentially, the strategy for acquiring more eCredits acceptance points is, all, on one hand, coming in from the product side. And when I say product side, what I'm talking about is we are currently working on a completely and entirely new merchant subscription package. And that is, once again, something that we have received a lot of community feedback about. So you told us the current merchant subscription package, which is usually priced at 299 euros, is a very steep hurdle for the merchants. And that is nothing that we want. So what I can announce is that in the next months, so before the end of the year, definitely, there will be a completely new merchant subscription package. It will be twofold. There will be 2 merchant subscriptions. One of them, the one that you know right now, will be 99 euros. Right now we have a special campaign where it is a bit cheaper. So everybody that wants to get in now doesn't have a disadvantage. But from the new merchant subscription package release on, it will be 99 euros. And it will contain everything that you know right now and a lot of more things. So for example, 99 euro merchants will be preferred when it comes to the deals feature that I mentioned before, and some other things. But additionally, to the 99 euro subscription, there will be a completely free merchant subscription. So every merchant that would like to try eCredits but isn't sure about the 99 euros yet will be able to get into eCredits for completely and 100% free forever. At least until we change something, if we decide to do that. But for now, we're planning to leave that on forever. And it will have some disadvantages. So it will not have all the features of the 99 euro package. It will also not have the deals feature, for example, to that extent. and it will have slightly higher fees than the 99 euro package. So the transaction fees will be slightly higher, but it will give every merchant opportunity to get into eCredits completely for free. Also, we are starting to launch some additional features that make it easier for merchants to get into the ecosystem, meaning we are currently working on additional online shop integrations. We are currently working on more reporting solutions for your accounting. We are working on a better solution for the cashiers that makes it easier to use, and so on and so forth. And all of that will make it much easier for the merchants to get into the eCredits ecosystem. And what we're also going to do is we are going to incentivize more online shops to get into the eCredits ecosystem. And the reason for that is we have done a customer survey, and you have told us that essentially you need more eCredits merchants, eCredits acceptance points to go shopping with eCredits more. And that's the most important thing that together we have to achieve, more shopping volume with eCredits. And so what we're going to do is we are going to incentivize the online merchants, because online merchants cover a much wider area. So even if you're living in a city that right now does not have any eCredits acceptance, once there are more online shops delivering the goods that you want, you can still purchase and shop with eCredits. And the key markets that we're focusing on this year is essentially still the European Union to a large extent, but we are going to expand. So as you know, our biggest markets right now are Italy and Portugal, whereas we are definitely going to expand to Slovenia, to the SWAG region, Switzerland, Austria, Germany, to other European countries. We are currently also looking into, for example, the UK, which so far was a bit difficult due to the British pound. But these are countries that we're looking into. And we also have a strategic plan to look into one country that is completely outside of the European Union. We are not entirely sure yet which country that is going to be, but it is still going to happen this year. So that's that question answered, hopefully. The next question that was sent up front is from Eva. And Eva is asking, what are the plans for eCredits in 2023-24 for reaching more adoption and trade volumes? So I've kind of answered how we're getting more merchants into that, but there are also going to be a lot more incentives. The deals feature, and I'm thinking right now, no, I'm not gonna spoiler too much, because the big features that I've mentioned up front that are coming in September, October, I will keep those for the roadshow. So if you want to hear more about the exact plans and the amazing features that are going to come in the next, and hold your breath for that, because it's just about 3 to 4 months away, then make sure that you can join one of our roadshow stops, where I'm going to talk about all the amazing plans and features that are coming that are really going to make a difference for you, for our community. I will talk about that there. Maybe one teaser that I can give to you is it will have a lot to do with passive income, because we know you like passive income. We've seen that at the eVault, but yeah, lots of things are coming. The next question is coming from Rodrigo, and he's asking, you were discussing the topic of deposit tokens a lot recently. Are you planning to include the deposit tokens and stablecoins anyhow into the ecosystem? Excellent question. So yes, deposit tokens have been discussed in the industry quite a lot. And I've been asked by a lot of media outlets what my opinion on them is. And as if you've read any of the articles or listened to any of the podcasts that I've done or interviews that I've done, then you know that I don't really have the highest opinion of deposit tokens, because it's just marketing lingo. But what I do have a very high opinion of is stable currencies. And stable currencies have become a lot more clear since the publication of the MiCA regulation. And what I can tell you is the answer to the question is, are you planning to include the deposit tokens and stablecoins anyhow into the ecosystem? The answer to that is yes. Yes, we are planning to do that. And I'm not sure if he's here today, but our team member, our head of finance, Jerome, is actively working on that. And I can tell you he's an absolute expert when it comes to these kind of topics. And I'm very much looking forward to the results that he is going to achieve and that he's going to publish in that regard. Once again, it's one of those things where I cannot say a lot until I'm 100% sure that it is going to happen. But yes, I'm planning to make it happen. We are planning to make it happen. It is being actively worked on, and you can look forward to something happening rather soon, I'd say. The next question is from Milos. Are you planning to list eCredits on more exchanges? Do you already have the next exchange in mind, and can you share it? So I think I've talked about that topic quite a couple of times in the past, and I've always said, well, yes, I'm looking into it, but in my opinion, we should take this topic very carefully because I always have to make the decision. Do I use the money that you have invested into eCredits in the beginning for listing on additional exchanges? And I can tell you, exchanges are quite expensive. So the cheapest ones usually hover around 25,000 euros. And the better the exchanges get, the higher the prices get. So for tier 1 exchanges, we are talking in the mid 6-digit range. That is a lot of money. Money that I would rather spend on marketing or product development rather than exchanges. But if there are exchanges that you really, really, really want to see, you can always let us know on our social media channels, via our support team, or in the Telegram group. We are listening to that. But for example, if it's about Binance, we can't really do that because we only work with exchanges that are very well and properly regulated. So there are some restrictions to that because, of course, we don't want to work with exchanges like FTX that do not have proper AML procedures and maybe misuse customer funds. That's not something we want to have happen. So just in case, feel free to send us the exchanges. We will look into them. No promises made, but yes, we are talking to additional exchanges. The next question, and I can see there's so many questions from you coming in right now. That's really great to see. Thank you very much for that. I feel like this is going to be a longer AMA than the last ones, but I'm very happy about that. So the question is, how did the General Assembly go? Are you satisfied with the outcome and the whole voting process? And then there's another question. So this question was from Mateusz. And then there's another question from Alexandra, who's asking, will there be the second General Assembly next year? Will new delegates be elected, or will the members be able to vote directly on decisions? So I think I've already answered the General Assembly question. How did it go? It went very well. I was very satisfied with the outcome, especially considering that it was the first time that anybody has ever done this. We have, of course, taken away some learnings for the next one. And the next one, to answer Alexandra's question, is yes, it is going to be next year. So the General Assembly is going to happen at least once a year. It might happen more often, but we're aiming for once a year at least. And will new delegates be elected? So the delegates that have been elected are elected for a year now until the next General Assembly happens. And they will be involved in a lot of decision making. So when it comes to strategic topics, when it comes to how do we spend the money, how do we handle the company strategically, we are going to involve the delegates quite a bit. And also keep in mind, the delegates are your representatives. So if you have any questions that you would like to push into the management of the company directly, feel free to approach your delegates that you have voted for and tell them, hey, I'm one of your voters, I have voted for you, you're my delegate. Is this a topic we can discuss together? And so that's the role of the delegates. And we will discuss a lot with them. We will give them information that is not even public yet, just so they have the full picture of that. And also, next year, before the next General Assembly, they will be re-elected. So you can vote if you're happy with the work that the delegates have done, you can vote for them again. And you can have the same delegates. That's totally fine. Or you can vote for new and additional delegates. So this year we had 8 delegates. We can have up to 10 delegates. And let's see how it goes next year. But these delegates are elected until the next General Assembly and will then be re-elected, or new ones will be elected. We will see about that. And also what you're asking is, will the members be able to vote directly on decisions? Yes, 100%. It's coming soon. You will be able to vote directly on decisions. We will let you vote on product decisions. What kind of development should we focus on next? What would you like to see us do next? Where should we spend our marketing budget? Should we expand to another country? Do you have ideas on marketing campaigns? Would you like other marketing campaigns? Do you have ideas for promotional campaigns that we could do? We are going to let you vote on a lot of things, because the one thing the SCE stands for is you being directly involved in our decision-making process. So I hope that answers these two questions. And then we have two more, well, actually one more, and that is coming from Michael, and that is eVault still available? And that has been asked in the Telegram channel. Yes, it is available, 100%. It is coming back. It is going to come back in the next couple of weeks. So as you know, in the beginning, there was a lot of demand for the eVault, and right now there's quite some demand for the eVault again. So yes, eVault campaigns are coming back. They are coming back soon, and you can wait for them. It's not going to take much longer. And there will be regular eVault campaigns coming back as well. So that is all of the questions that you have sent to us up front. I think it was very interesting and very diverse questions as well. So we went from the MyWorld integration via the General Assembly to the deposit tokens and stable currencies, to the eVault. So a lot of different things being asked. I appreciate that very much. And the questions were really high quality. I'm very happy with that. So keep these questions coming. Just as a warning, don't keep the questions like when moon coming. There's nothing I can really talk about there. But these kind of questions, I'm very happy about them. Absolutely feel 100% free to keep them coming. And also, if you want more AMAs, feel free to let us know. I'm always happy to do more if there are questions that I can answer. So with that, let's get into the questions that we are, or that you have posted in the chat since the AMA started. And the first one is coming from Panos Papadopoulos. I think you've also been here for quite a while. Thank you for being a support of eCredits. That is so much appreciated. And your question is, when can we redeem activity to eCredits? So this is a question that is getting asked very often. I've answered it a lot of times, and I'm very happy to answer it as many times as you ask it to me. And the answer to that is, we did that marketing campaign that I've mentioned before with MyWorld, where we have given out eActivity. And the idea is that with that eActivity users that we have got in, we can kickstart the volume of eCredits. So we can get a lot of people to start shopping with eCredits. And what I need for the eActivity to eCredits exchange to go live is the eActivity holders to go shopping with eCredits. And once that happens, then we can immediately turn on the eActivity exchange. That said, however, we do have a specific goal. We would like to see activity, like people being active in the eCredits ecosystem, to the extent of 20%. So if 20% of the eActivity holders go shopping with eCredits, then we can put it live within a day. So the moment we see that, the moment we can turn on the eActivity exchange. And so, Panos, that is also a request to you. If you have eActivity, go shopping with eCredits. Tell your friends that are holding eActivity to go shopping with eCredits. Because, and I think this is the first time I'm saying this online, I've mentioned it on live events a couple of times, on offline events a couple of times, but if we can make that happen, and I have the personal goal of making that happen by October this year, because in September, October, there's a lot of things going to happen. And if we can get more people to use eCredits by then, 20% of the activity holders to use eCredits by then, I would like to make this happen immediately. And my personal goal is to make this happen in October. But I need your help for that. So everybody of you that is holding eActivity and has not shopped anywhere with eCredits yet, go out there right after this AMA, please purchase something with eCredits, because we need that to get eActivity live. And I'm not holding that back. I want to make that finally happen by October, but I need your support on this. Let's together get 20% of the eActivity holders to be active, to purchase anything with eCredits, and then we can make this happen. We can go live with the eActivity exchange finally. I really want to make this happen. So the next one, a very interesting question and a very technical question. It's coming from somebody that posted anonymously, and it is, what about adding ENS domain to be certain that the person you're sending eCredits to is the real person and not a fake account? So just to explain what ENS domains are, ENS stands for Ethereum Name Service, and essentially what it is you can purchase a domain. For example, in my case, that would be bernhardblaha.ecs. And you can use that to send funds to addresses without having to remember the entire public key. So the address that you're seeing that starts with 0x and then some numbers and letters. And rather than having that, we can implement a so-called eCredits domain. And then you can enter to the to field. I would like to send eCredits to bernhardblaha.ecs. And you can send it there. It's much easier to remember. It's much easier to send the funds. And what about doing that? It is possible. I'd be very happy to do it. It is not a high priority right now, but that's one of these things where I'd say, if you really want, show us, send us some emails to the support team, or let us know in our social media channels, or let's discuss it on a Telegram channel. I'm very happy to discuss that, because actually, to be honest, it's a great addition, right? It would be great to have that happen. And so yeah, why not? I'd like to do it. Let us know if you want that. The next one is coming from an anonymous person as well, and that is, how are the eCredits going to be released until the total supply is completed? So essentially, the absolute majority, 2/3, 66% of eCredits right now is completely blocked for activity. So it cannot be released unless e-activity can be redeemed, and then it will only be redeemable for people that say, I have activity, I would like to exchange them for eCredits. That's how that 66% of the supply are being used. I won't tell you too much about that, because it's also one of these topics that I'm going to talk about a lot on the offline events, but there will be changes to that, and there will be changes that you are going to like, I can guarantee you that. And I will announce them in the next couple of months as well. But yeah, the entire idea of the total supply is going to change. And I will just give you one teaser word that we are currently looking into. No promises it will come, but we are looking into. And that teaser word is burn. Can't wait for that to happen. So the next question, also from Anonymous, I think I've already answered that. When will it be possible to eVault eCredits? When is the next campaign coming? Very soon, next couple of weeks. So Nikita, you are in the call anyway. I think you can announce that relatively soon, when the next eVault campaign is going to start. Next question is coming from Ute. When does the airdrop start next time from the MyWorld account to eCredits? Thank you for the answer. So just to be clear, that was a one-time campaign that we did together with MyWorld. There is not going to be another airdrop from MyWorld or together with MyWorld for the time being. We are going to do some campaigns with them in the future, especially now that they are accepting eCredits as a payment service. But we are not planning to do another airdrop from MyWorld to eCredits. The next question is coming from VK. Do you have partnership for payments with any key accounts now or coming soon? Hell yes. Yes, we do. And what I can tell you is the first one regarding payments is going live in just the next couple of weeks. We are talking to five more actual payment gateways, as we call them, that will allow for on-ramping, off-ramping. And we are also integrating with a lot of so-called POS, so point of sale providers right now. Meaning that in the future, if you have one of those cashier points, one of those devices where the cashier types, customer just bought 2 croissants, or a customer just bought one I don't know, one good of whatever, we will be able to integrate into those point of sale systems directly. So whenever a customer comes, The cashier doesn't have to understand anything. They just click eCredits and everything happens completely automatically. That will make it so much easier for merchants to use eCredits and so much faster for consumers to pay. So it's going to be a big thing. If you're asking generally about bigger companies that are going to accept eCredits, yes, we have some of those in the making as well. And especially, I do have a brand that I can announce very soon, hopefully, that I would bet that 99% of you know. Like 99% of that brand know that, of you know that brand. And we are going to partner with them and we are going to announce that pretty soon, probably also going to happen by September, October-ish. The next question is coming from Smiley, from some emoji. Any option for instant trade for shoppers, not only for merchants in the future? Yes, that is going to be the credit card integration. It's a maximum, I would estimate, of 2 weeks away, so that is going to come very soon. Do you have ideas to make options to eVault for activity? No, we do not have that for now. That is a question we get quite frequently. I've heard it a lot, but the reason it's a bit of a very tokenomic topic. It's a bit of a complicated topic, but if we did eVault for activity, it would defeat the purpose of both activity and the eVault. And so right now we do not have plans to make that happen. If you want me to, I can talk a bit more about that. But since we're already 15 minutes above our time slot, I think I will proceed with the next question. So the answer is no, we do not have plans for that right now. The next one is coming from Norman Pilosov. Will eCredits be available in South Africa on the Binance exchange? So South Africa is like a complete storybook. We have been working on South Africa for a long time. I think it's been more than a year by now. And South Africa has some very specific regulation, namely any kind of currency that is being brought out of the country has to be registered. There has to be a permission for it. And they deem every cryptocurrency to be currency that has been brought out of the country. So we need to work with local exchanges because no other exchange except for Binance now is really offering the South African rand, which is the local currency. And the exchanges there are quite difficult when it comes to listing new currencies. And so we've been talking to, I think, 3 different exchanges by now. We've been talking to a lot of partners, but none of them can fulfill the requirements that we have. And if they can, then they don't have the track record that we would require to actually work with them. So we are planning to get into South Africa. And if you have contacts to an exchange that offers a South African rand as one currency, then please let us know. Please give us a contact. We are actually looking to make this happen, but South Africa is especially hard to make happen. I'll tell that completely openly. We're looking to make it happen. If you can support us, if you have contacts with exchanges that accept the South African rand, please let us know, because yes, we want to make it happen. Specifically on the Binance exchange, probably not, because Binance is not known to have the best regulation. And as I said in the beginning, we do need proper regulation to get to an exchange and be listed on an exchange. Then we do have a question from Krista Bartson. And Krista, it's great to have you here. Krista is actually one of the delegates. He was in Luxembourg. Quite a story to that. I think he had the most adventurous journey to get to Luxembourg. And all the more I appreciate that you made it to Luxembourg. And even more, I do appreciate that you are here, Krista. It's great having you here. And your question is, if you say that 20% of members have to use ECS and shop, what value is needed to have high enough turnover to utilize your goal? So just to be very clear, I don't need to have 20% of the members to shop. I need to have 20% of the activity holders to shop, because many of them essentially got the activity from the My World airdrop, and to make that work in the entire ecosystem and with the tokenomics, we need to have a certain amount of them shop. Otherwise, it might be problematic for eCredits, but that's why we have the 20% of the activity holders that need to shop. What value is needed? it's not so much about the value, it's more about the activity of them. Because the moment they become active, that is the moment where essentially the whole ecosystem and the whole circular economy that we're having in the ecosystem starts working. And once that is started, it's kind of the kickstart that we need to make the tokenomics work. And that is why we have the limit of 20% of the activity holders, because that's what we deem reasonable enough to have the kickstart for the circular economy to get rolling and to essentially support the eCredits once the activity to eCredits exchange does go live. And then I think we're going to take that as a last question because we are almost 20 minutes over time already. So that's also coming from Krister. How many e-wallet holders can shop locally where they live? So that is a very good question, and it's very hard for me to answer because we do not save a lot of data. So eCredits is very privacy conscious, so we only have estimations. But right now, our estimation is that 75 to 80% of e-wallet holders can shop locally where they live. And locally, in our case, means within 10 kilometers, they have one merchant. But what's important is this is also the focus of that online shop campaign, where we want to have more and more merchants that are also accessible online, because then everybody can shop. 100% of the users can shop if they can get the goods delivered to them online and still deliver them by MSMEs. So I know we have, for example, in Portugal, a lot of great online shops that we can work with. Also in Italy, we have some in Estonia. So that's great to have. And with that, we hope that we can make 100% coverage happen very, very soon. And then I think I'll just take another question because that's a very interesting one. And that's actually going to be the last question then, because my voice is starting to fail already after 50 minutes of talking. But that question is, are you planning to input into e-wallet other cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin? What about block trades, BTEX? Answer is yes and yes. So Bitcoin is coming. Bitcoin is being worked on. It is coming relatively soon-ish. And also the BTEX is being worked on. So you will be able to hold both of them in the e-wallet application directly. You will be able to transfer them. So yes, the e-wallet will support other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, like the BTEX, and we do have some other plans as well that are going to come soon. More information on that in the near future. And I think that is a very great question to end the AMA. Thank you all for being here. Please allow me to put your attention to the roadshow that we are going to announce very soon. It will be on all of our usual channels. I will be in many, many countries. As I said, Italy and Portugal are already fixed. I want to do many more countries. I think in total we have about 30 or 35 shows that we are going to do in September, October. If you want your country to happen, let me know. I would like to come to your country. I would like to do events where we can talk about all of the questions that you have, all of the big announcements that are going to come in September, October, and the way that they are going to change how eCredits shapes the entire world. And that is a big claim, and I'm ready to fulfill that claim. And I'm looking forward like nothing else to do that together with you. This is going to be amazing, and I cannot wait. I am so hyped to make this happen. So thank you very much for being here. It was a great AMA. It was great questions. I'm very much looking forward to the next one, and talk to you soon. Have an amazing evening. Goodbye.